Hello, everybody. My name is Garrett Pollard. I am one of the senior specialists here on the cloud operations team. With me, I have my colleague Kevin. I'll let him quickly introduce himself to put a voice to the name, as we'll both be presenting to you today.
Yeah, thanks, Garrett. My name is Kevin Lewin. I'm a specialist solutions architect here on our observability team. So I help customers architect and plan solutions using our observability tools.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. So we're all here today to talk about observability with AIOps on AWS. Very exciting topic. So, we'll set a baseline here when we get into talking about observability here at AWS, and then we'll pivot into talking more about how we solve that with AIOps. So let's get started. So the first question here, what is observability? So here at AWS, this is how we define it. So observability is not simply being able to monitor and respond to a failure, but it's also about being able to prevent these failures from repeating themselves in the future. And when we talk about how observability helps you, really the thing to focus on is that data drives decisions, and real-time data drives real-time decisions. Increasingly, downtime, as we all know, in applications and services cost money. Therefore, it's really critical for us to resolve real-time issues as close to real time as possible, helping you to maintain critical SLAs such as availability, reliability, and latency. So with AWS, we're going to be able to help you understand your application and infrastructure health, accelerate collaboration, reduce operational costs, as well as increasing customer satisfaction and elevate your customer experiences. So when we talk about observability, it's really not a one size fits all. I like to say it's not really a microscope. It's kind of like a kaleidoscope here. When you look at it, it really depends. So many of our customers, when we talk about the maturity model, start at different places. Most of them start at that level zero. So they may have some dashboards with simple infrastructure metrics and application logs. But as you move up the levels of maturity, we get to more of a proactive observability model where customers can not only automatically respond to any issues as they occur, but also use that observability data to optimize and improve resiliency. So let's look at what a standard workload looks like here. Standard monitoring workload looks like here at AWS. So that typically involves ingesting application and infrastructure metrics, then creating dashboards and alarms that integrate with operations tooling. This process can really involve a lot of manual development in order to properly visualize those business critical KPIs. Now let's look at what monitoring looks like with AIOps on AWS. Utilizing AIOps allows customers to reach a mature observability practice with less manual effort. Anomaly detection, insights, and DevOps Guru will provide that out of the box guidance and alarms on workloads. So the key piece here is DevOps Guru. So let's talk a little bit about that. So customers can achieve many of their observability goals simply by enabling DevOps Guru. For resources analyzed by DevOps Guru, the customer will get that out of the box insights and ability to create automated operation actions through SSM Incident Manager. This need to reduce the noise, bring to the surface critical issues with relevant data, and help identify the cause quickly to reduce MTTR, or mean time to recovery, is what Amazon DevOps Guru seeks to deliver for you. Amazon DevOps Guru is a fully managed ML powered service that monitors applications to automatically improve availability and prevent downtime. So let's talk about why are we going to use DevOps Guru here. First and foremost, it's a fully managed service that you need to only give guidance about your application boundaries. You do not need to, or do not require setting up or training any machine learning models or hardware resources. Once you provide the necessary application info, it automatically starts monitoring the data and metrics to understand your application's behavior. As the new resources are added to your application, it automatically detects these changes and starts ingesting data from new resources. So there's no need to set up additional monitoring and alarms. DevOps Guru reduces the noise and really helps focus on high severity issues and detailed insights to provide a quicker MTTR. So let's talk about how CloudWatch fits into this. So customers may need to analyze resources that are not covered by DevOps Guru, can't even talk, or they may need more customization than DevOps Guru offers. These customers can utilize CloudWatch anomaly detection to fill any gaps in their observability models. They can create anomaly detection alarms based on a metric's expected value. These types of alarms don't have a static threshold for determining alarm state. Instead, they compare the metric's value to the expected value based on the anomaly detection model. You can choose whether the alarm is triggered when the metric value is above the band of expected values or below the band or both. When viewing a graph of metric data, overlay the expected values onto the graph as a band. This really makes it visually clear which values the graph is out of normal range here. You can enable anomaly detection using AWS Management Console, the AWS CLI, AWS CloudFormation, or even the AWS SDK. You can enable anomaly detection on metrics vended by AWS, and you can also use custom metrics. So X-ray Insights, while not directly in CloudWatch here, but definitely related, allows the automated correlation of performance across a variety of different sources. So by instrumenting on an application with X-ray, you have distributed performance analysis across your whole application landscape. This is useful for detecting bottlenecks in application performance, and X-ray Insights then will automatically analyze this tracing data and provide optimization insights at the application level. So our goal here, if you haven't found that out already, is really to ensure that customers have a great observability experience, no matter what service they use. So AWS observability is end-to-end observability. Our AWS services and capabilities can meet your needs from a unified observability to cross-account observability to APM, in other words, application performance monitoring, to driving insights and open source needs. For example, one of the great things about Amazon CloudWatch is the zero touch management approach. Simply install an agent to get your data flowing, and we'll take care of the rest, from automatically scaling to managing your data retention policies. Additionally, CloudWatch offers a curated experiences across containers with Lambda, also helping you quickly gain and maintain observability in those environments. There's also popular open source offerings, such as Prometheus and Grafana. Customers like these open source tools, but really find it increasingly difficult to manage these environments, especially at scale. So our managed open source observability services, Amazon Managed Grafana and Amazon Managed Service for Prometheus, they'll be able to help you help you eliminate undifferentiated heavy lifting associated with managing these tools. Our end-to-end observability helps our customers improve user experience, application performance via monitoring infrastructure and containers, cloud services, and underlying resources. Ultimately, our customers can achieve their business goals of understanding application health, improving performance and availability via SLOs or SLAs, monitoring for cost optimization, and improving their end user experiences. So what makes up AWS observability? Here's how we like to think about it from an end-to-end perspective. We recognize how important observability is to every organization, no matter the size in every industry. Whether you're on-prem or on-premises, hybrid, or in the cloud, whether you are monitoring networks, infrastructure, apps, or containers, you'll need observability to drive the decisions you make and get the outcomes you want. So starts with the sources and workloads you bring to the table. What data do you have? What workloads do you need to monitor? AWS consumes more than 120 AWS services and also multiple other data sources across on-premises, hybrid, multi-cloud, or containerized workloads. So let's talk about the data you collect. There's an abundance of data that is even more distributed. You need to monitor and observe everything in your distributed system, and it's more important than ever to have greater observability. In the age of microservices and containers and ephemeral workloads, it's really easy to spin up resources. So there's data coming from your workloads, IoT sensors on your factory floors, and things like that. In the old days, you could look at everything from a single box. So these days, we recognize that data comes from everywhere. So not only does AWS Observability integrate with more than 120 AWS resources, we can consume and get data from any of your multiple data sources. We collect open source or AWS native data in the form of traces, metrics, and logs. So now let's talk about processing your data. So enrich your data to be used for monitoring your applications and systems. Give your data context so that when you use them for monitoring and observability purposes, you can make your data work for you. So when you talked about getting insights into your data, our capabilities range from aggregation, dashboarding, alarming, analysis, insights, correlation, and more. And lastly, end-to-end observability, as we've been discussing, you really want to deliver the best customer experience for your end users. That goes without saying. So that means increasing your reliability and availability and maintaining SLO and SLAs. So speeding up root cause analysis and also deploying faster so your end users can enjoy the new features and apps. No matter where you are, what team you're on, from dev to IT ops to finance or the business teams, AWS Observability really helps you all understand what's happening in your applications and your systems. So we'll bring this back up again about a call to action here, but to give you a little preview of some of the uh, resources we have around enabling DevOps Guru, utilizing CloudWatch and anomaly detection, as well as enabling X-ray insights. We've created all these resources to help you guys do this easier. Also, we have a bunch of other great resources around these topics. Our One Observability Workshop, self-paced workshop is an excellent resource. We have a best practice guide to help you dig in, as well as an accelerator and a skill builder. So we have tons of resources for you guys, but I highly encourage, of course, you reach out to your teams here to help, including us. So with that, we'll circle back to this stuff. Just wanted to give you a preview, but let's actually show you what we're talking about. So I'm going to hand things over to Kevin, who's going to jog you through everything.
Great, thank you, Garrett. Let me share my screen here. And if you could just give me a shout when you could see my screen, that would be great.
I can see it.
Okay, awesome. So today we're going to be showing you some of our AI ops capabilities here at AWS. And Specifically within the broad umbrella of AIOps, we're going to be focusing on just observability today, right? So it's obviously one piece of the puzzle, but it's a major piece, right? So it's important, to collect a lot of observability data from many different places, and we need to analyze them continuously and not just react to problems, but hopefully proactively improve our applications. And so a really good foundational starting point is to just enable DevOps Guru on your account. So we can see here, I have the DevOps Guru console up on my screen. I've enabled it on this account already. I'm just analyzing all the resources in this account. Now you could also just choose which ones to analyze specifically. So you can, for example, you can hand it a CloudFormation stack and say, analyze all these resources and not the rest, and so on and so forth. I'm choosing to just analyze all of them. So at a glance, we can see it's analyzing 54 different things. We have a nice overview of the health of our application. So we can see I have one impacted application and a few proactive insights. And if I had any reactive insights to action on, they would show up there. We get an overview of our environment here. You can choose to group it by application, which is what I've done. So I have an application called services, composed of 29 resources. You could also just choose to show the AWS services themselves like this. And you can easily see at a glance what is healthy and what is not healthy. You're going to get your latest insight here, and I'll get more into insights in a moment. And then you're going to get some history here, and you can, of course, go back further if you wanted to. So really, though, this is just kind of the dashboard. What the real gain here for you is having insights from this DevOps Guru data. And behind the scenes, this is basically using our AI ML tool set, but it's nothing you have to think about. We do all the work for you. We're going to analyze all of the data being emitted by these services in AWS, and we're going to basically tell you when something looks off. And it can work reactively, like you can see here. So for example, I'll just click this first insight. We can see that there was some anomalous behavior on 3 of our metrics. We can see like a start and end time and the amount of applications this affected. Coming down here, we can see a graph of the anomalous metrics. So this is coming right out of our CloudWatch metric data. It's going to give you the affected resources and show the period of time where you were impacted. And what's really nice is that you have a few different views of your metrics and events associated with this time period, but you can have DevOps Guru automatically generate an ops item for you in SSM. So Systems Manager Ops Center is kind of like a ticketing system where you could go and kind of see this ops item. You can, assign it to someone, and then you could trigger a runbook to hopefully go and fix that thing, right? So I had some ALB insight, right? Maybe I have some remediation here to go fix my ALB, right? And there are a number of out-of-the-box runbooks. Like I didn't create any of these, but you can also create your own custom runbooks to go resolve these issues as they occur. So you kind of have that complete end-to-end triage and troubleshooting process all through DevOps Guru. And let's say you don't use SSM Ops Center. Maybe you have some other tool already. That's fine. You can actually just set up DevOps Guru to go to an SNS topic, right? So you can, type in whatever you want. and create an SNS topic there. And what that means is you can have it send out like just an email would be very simple. So you can send an email to a certain distro list or a certain group of people, and they could go and fix whatever is going on, or kind of a more uh, automated workflow. A lot of people have these SNS topics connect to ticketing services like Jira or ServiceNow are very popular in the industry. So you can do quite a bit. You can also have an SNS topic trigger a Lambda function or something to help, maybe you need to reroute traffic or who knows what it is, but you can, the point is that you can quickly take action on any of these insights that are generated by DevOps Guru. So that was an example of one type of insight. These are also grouped by severity. For example, here's a high severity one. And it's really nice. You're getting these metrics, and you're getting associated logs, right? And DevOps Guru is analyzing those logs. So you could go and you could click into here, and you can see that there's an anomaly in the logs. We're getting some error, right? So unable to import something, the error is not important, but basically this error is anomalous, right? It's not usually in the log, and DevOps Guru alerted us of that, and it correlated it with this, other event that was happening. And in addition to that, you are also getting a recommendation on how to fix it, right? And this is going to be very generalized, but you can see it's telling us the function is throwing a high number of errors. To learn more, it's going to give us some relevant documentation. So it's very nice for, think of those ops teams who are kind of first responders to go in and get this level of detail and to at least point you in the right direction is really nice. Even if you don't completely, know the complete root cause, this is getting you a big portion of the way there. And this is all about reducing your mean time to resolve, right? So we know downtime costs money. We want to reduce the amount of downtime. Every second counts. So this is a very powerful tool to hopefully, speed up that troubleshooting workflow for you. But even in addition to reactive insights, there's also proactive insights where maybe there's not a problem yet, but we're going to analyze these things and say, oh, this isn't generally a best practice what you're doing right now. So, right, I have a Lambda function and it's deployed only into 2 availability zones, but the region has 3. There's no reason not to deploy it in 3. So it says, we recommend to deploy in 3 AZs, right? Make it more robust. And of course, it generates an ops item for you. You can go and fix it. You can close the ops item, and this is really great for kind of getting you more towards these kind of well-architected principles, right? We're proactively trying to help you run your applications here on AWS. So that's DevOps Guru. But that's really DevOps Guru. You can think of it as the foundation for this, right? But let's say you need a little bit more detail, right? So maybe that's where X-Ray and X-Ray Insights comes in, right? So what we're looking at now is X-Ray. To sum it up, it's kind of a distributed tracing tool. So you instrument your applications to produce some X-ray traces. And it's going to do end-to-end tracing throughout your environment of all these different nodes, and it's going to track response time and latency. And this is very important because as applications get more and more distributed, you need to be able to instantaneously see these bottlenecks. So this is a very good tool to kind of get this bird's eye view. But also in the background, you can choose to enable insights on these X-ray traces. And we're going to automatically capture anything anomalous in the trace data. For example, we can click on one of these here. And we can see 25% of the client requests failed due to faults on our Fargate service. It's going to show us the services that are impacted and anomalous. It's going to show the impact here of the time that it's happening. We can easily go and inspect this once it loads, but in the meantime, we can go and analyze the insights, which will take us to our X-ray analytics page, and we can analyze this whole group of traces. And we can see the 500 errors. We could choose to click onto one of these traces, and we're going to really easily be able to see here these faults that are occurring throughout the trace. So I could click into this, and actually the exception will just bubble right up, assuming that that was the exception. Let's find one where that exception is occurring, right? So the root cause exception here that's happening is an access denied to an S3 bucket, right? So I was able to start with an automated insight and then go find a particular trace that led to that insight, and then see the particular exception that caused that trace. And it's a very nice kind of troubleshooting workflow to be able to do that. And we can see it can also try to give us a root cause. It will attempt to, right? So that takes us to our analysis, where you would then do that kind of root cause demonstration that I showed. So it's quite a nice tool for doing this. And there's a lot of different insights that are captured here, right? So it's not just like 500 errors and faults. It could also be, things like latency. It could be, a lot of different things that are causing that, right? And this can trace all of these different resources and analyze the data and figure out why that's happening for you. So that's, X-ray insights. And if we were to take it a step further than X-ray insights and say, I want to be able to detect anomalous behavior on any metric that I have, well, that's where CloudWatch anomaly detection comes in. So with CloudWatch anomaly detection, this is really useful because a lot of the times you don't know what is unexpected behavior, right? So if we took CPU utilization, for example, you might not know whether 85% is an issue or not. Maybe this always runs at 85%. But if you use something like anomaly detection, you're able to just be alerted when the value is anomalous, which is usually something you want to know. And it's very easy to enable this. So for instance, I could go to EC2 and go to any of these metrics, right? We'll do EBS writes, right? So this is writes to the disk. And then if I want to enable anomaly detection, I could just click this button here, and it's going to generate an anomaly detection band for me. It's very nice. It's very easy. It's nothing that you have to set up, and this will adjust dynamically based off the usage. So it's not just a static threshold. It will analyze the data over time and get smarter about what is in or out of the anomaly band. And you could easily create an alarm based off of this too, right? So maybe you want to, uh, do anything outside of the band or just greater than the band. You can do the amount of standard deviations above or below. Um, so this is really great, and you want to be kind of specific about these alarms because you want your alarm to actually be meaningful, right? You want to reduce the noise. You don't want thousands of alarms going off. So when you're only applying alarms to anomalous behavior, it's getting you a good portion of the way there with like a mature observability practice where you can quickly know when something unexpected is happening in your system, and you can keep an eye on it. Maybe there's no issue, or you can take action to fix it. And all of this data, it's important to know with AWS. We have open source tooling too to view the same data. Um, for example, we have a managed Grafana service I can show you. And in this Grafana service, you can easily get the same types of data, right? So I have my X-ray data and I have CloudWatch data. You can do the same thing. So you can view insights and you could set up anomaly detection right here from Grafana as well. And it's just important to bring this up because you do need to know about these options, right? Grafana is a very popular tool for analyzing data, observability data from many different sources. So you could have data from CloudWatch and X-ray, and you can have data from Prometheus. You could have data from, even another cloud provider like Azure, and you can consume all of that data in Grafana, and you can get the same types of automated insights and analysis that I just showed you in CloudWatch from this UI, if that's something you prefer. And this is all fully managed. You pay per user. So it's a nice little tool to help reduce the operational overhead of running something like Grafana. So that is what I had to show you today. It was a nice kind of just overview of how you can use some of these services that Garrett mentioned, and hopefully get started with building up your observability practice and your observability strategy. So thank you for taking the time to listen.